18 WJTS Sports presents Jasper Wildcat Football. This game is brought to you by Carpet Warehouse, Maringer Plumbing and Heating, DuBois County Tire and Supply, Ubelor and Sons, McDonald's, Oakland City University, Westside Dairy Queen. Now let's head down to the field.
Welcome to Central Stadium here on the campus of Central High School in Evansville, Indiana. The Jasper Wildcats taking on the Central Bears. Jasper comes into this football game with a 2-3 record against Evansville Central at 0-5. Hello, everybody. I'm Craig Schneider along with Bob Welp and Jeremy Marcos on the video. And Bob, last week the Wildcats getting knocked off by Mater Dei, and just one of those football games where Jasper took the opening kickoff and actually marched 78 yards right down the field and scored on a 2-yard run by Perkins for a 7-0 lead. And then Mater Dei just kind of did what they did. They just kind of threw it all over the field and scored on their first two drives to make it 14-7. But really the backbreaker for the Wildcats was the fumble. And, Mater Dei was able to return that 15 yards for a touchdown. So they had that 20-7 lead at halftime. And the Cats weren't really able to really recover after that.
You're absolutely right. And that's one thing Coach Lewis is, at the start of each game, what he's looking for. The question he has for himself, are we going to get through the whole game without a fumble? We have yet to do that this year. So, even though it was the backbreaker, you are correct. It was something that we're kind of used to around here. Hopefully we can get that straightened out tonight.
Well, the Wildcats, of course, had, as far as their offense, 202 total yards of offense, 140 rush, 62 in pass. Jace Perkins had 13 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown. Holsworth, 15 for 42. But you talk about the fumbles lost. On the season, the Wildcats have lost 9 fumbles, 5 in the Harrison game, as we remember. But 3 of those have been returned for touchdowns. So it's going to be so important for tonight for our running backs to really protect the football.
When they get through the line, both arms got to come around. If they see any type of contact coming, they have to do that. This is a game that I think Jasper's going to match it. Their offensive line is going to match up well against the defensive line of Central. I think we're going to be able to move them just like we did with Bossy. You and I were talking about Max Butel. In the Bossy game, he rolled to the left, rolled to the right, dropped back. Everything looked real good. Well, against Mater Dei, their defensive line was too much of a matchup for our offensive line. They got him in pressure. He was releasing the ball before his receivers even came out, but that's where the freshman comes in. So I'm hoping that we can get our offensive blows going, maybe move them back a little bit. They've been stacking the box and stripping the ball.
Well, we're taking on a Central team that's 0-5 on the season. They've been shut out 3 of their 5 losses and only scored 19 points in their 5 games. And their coach, Andy Zirkelbach, was saying in an article this week that, again, they just look at it at 1 week at a time. Every week we start out 0-0, so again, that's the attitude that they're taking into this. Again, it's just been 2 years ago where they were 12-1 and went undefeated in that season in 2020 and won the sectional, as well as undefeated in the conference, the Southern Indiana Athletic Conference. But, they've just really been decimated with transfers, really, this year. You had Blake Hurties, who we saw last week, who's now a wide receiver at Mater Dei. He was a former quarterback here at Central. And then Ben Davies, who actually last year late in the season started as a freshman for the Central team. Well, he's doing great things now at Wrights as their quarterback. And even Porter Road, he transferred to Memorial. So, they're pretty well from top to bottom, just had to replace players to take some of those spots. And that includes their quarterback, who's Boston Steers. He's number 14. He's their starting quarterback tonight. He's a senior, but he's playing football for the first time since grade school. So, they've just got a lot of issues that they're dealing with.
Well, it's going to be a dramatic change from last week when we had Wunderlich, who is a senior, and it's really caused us some problems over the years. We've seen him early in his career, and he's just gotten better and better. Hopefully with this quarterback tonight, whether he can sling it or not, that's not what we're looking for from our defense. Are we making him uncomfortable? Or are we making him release the ball before he wants to? Well, that's yet to be seen.
All right, so we are all set for the kickoff here. The Wildcats are going to receive as Central set to kick off, and that is Lane Gabbert, number 5, who will do the kicking duties for this team. He's also the punter for the team. He's got a nice boot there, but That's going to be fielded by Braylon Bear right there at the 5-yard line. So he's looking for some room up the middle and is able to get it to the 32-yard line. And, yeah, Bear actually back for his second game since that injury when he had the opening kickoff against Harrison and went down. And last week they didn't really use him on the offensive end, but it's good to have his experience back there as a defensive back.
Well, I think the coach, when they slid him in there, they knew that he wasn't 100%. And you could tell because we've seen what he did last year, all those interceptions, things he was doing at the beginning of the year. But it looks like he's starting to pick the pace back up.
All right, so the Cats are underway. First play up the middle, and that's a rushing play there. So, again, Max Butel, the freshman, getting the responsibilities as the quarterback tonight. So, again, the freshman on the season is 7 of 14 passing for 133 yards and 1 touchdown and 1 interception. And actually, if you look at the Wildcat offense, we've only had 17 completions on the passing game, but 9 different receivers have caught passes throughout the season. So Holsworth gets that first carry for a couple yards, and 2nd down and 8. Ooh. And we got a penalty flag early on, so I think this is going to go against the Wildcats. So a false start called on the Cats. So, you know, again, penalties, that's another thing. In a game like this where you got two teams that are struggling, you've really got to play mistake-free football.
Yeah, and I'm sure that after what happened against Mater Dei last week that the coaches were not as friendly as they normally are during practice. So you've got some guys that are apprehensive out there. They're trying to get to that little extra movement. Butel is a freshman. He's got to remember that when he does his cadence, it's the same that the team knows. You know, every time it's the same.
All right, so the give is to the first guy on the left side. That's going to be Holsworth again, so he's going to gain a little bit of that yardage back. He'll pick up 4 on that run.
You know, with Butel in there, it looks like when they made contacts with us, they were at the line of scrimmage. Butel may have some time to go. If we're just going to go tackle, we're gonna really struggle tonight. They've got some beef in that interior line. We've got to get to the pitch, or we got to get to a pass.
So 3rd down and long for the Wildcats, and tries to run the option. He's able to get the pitch out there, but it is stopped quickly by the Central Bears. So Cats are going to be stalled on their initial drive here, and so they're going to be forced to punt.
We've got to control it. We've got to push them back. These guys are fighting to get to even on the record books for this year. They got some tough games coming up. They've got to get this one. They've got to step it up.
All right, so Cabrick back there to punt. We're going to try to shift the field here, and he's done a great job punting the football all season. That one actually is going to go out of bounds right at the 30-yard line, so that's where Central will start off. 1st and 10. So, again, they are led by Boston Steers, who's actually primarily a basketball player on the Central High School basketball team, but he is going to start at quarterback tonight, playing football for the first time since grade school. So he is a 6'1", 175 senior. He wears number 14 out there.
Defensive backs they've got to step it up from their performance last week. Mater Dei killed us with the little dink and dunks. They had 250 yards. And other than a couple of them, he did not go downfield. That's what Central was doing during the pregame.
All right, so first play from scrimmage is the running play, and sees a big opening there. So that is Javon Jackson, number 2. He's a 5'5", 145 junior. So he's able to rush that football for about 8 yards on that first play.
Well, Kyle Carrier, their left guard, comes in about 264, did a nice job of pinching our defensive linebacker that came up, did a nice job of pinching him down, opening that hole, and they got a nice gain on 1st down.
So 2nd down and a short 2, we'll call it. Give again is to Jackson, and Cats do a good job of penetrating there. It's like Wallace and then also number 89, Hunter Eckert, who's getting a start tonight. So that actually backs him up a couple yards there. So we'll call it -2 on that. We'll set up a 3rd and 4. So So the Wildcats 3 and out and had to punt on their first possession. Central here, Wildcat defense looking to force the same thing for the Bears. Give us on an option to the outside, and good job here by Cabrick to come up and make a hard hit and make the stop. And also it looks like Atkins was in on the play, but they read that well.
Oh, Cabrick came up and just laid the wood to him. I get excited over hits like that. That made me stand up out of my chair.
All right, so 3 and out for the Bears now. Lane Gabbert back out there. Number 5 will punt. Braylon Bear back to receive around the 27-yard line. He's stepping up to about the 30 there, so we'll see where he picks this up. 7:57 on the clock. No score yet in this football game. See if Bear goes after it. Nope, it's going to roll towards the sideline, so Jasper will have the football at the 33-yard line for their second possession.
This is all going to start. If Coach Lewis wants to go tackle to tackle, it's got to come from our center and guards. They have got to control that middle.
And the Wildcat offensive line includes Jesse Ubelar, the center. Right guard is Jackson Bauer. Right tackle is Griffin Heil. Left guard is Carson Kelly, and left tackle is Tyson Rue. Tight ends are Cameron Howard, number 88, and Will Wallace, number 32. So he's got it stacked there with double tight ends again. Holsworth on the left side, and he's got an opening, so a nice run across the 40 to the 41.
Either Holsworth just seen that and bounced it to the outside, or the coaches are seeing how Central's pinching down in the middle, and they're taking it instead of right off the guard on that dive, going it outside tackle.
So 2nd down and 2. Butel gives it to Holsworth again. Big hole this time again. And he's going to get it to the 48-yard line. So pick up a 7 there. So 15 quick yards on his last 2 carries. 1st and 10 for the Cats.
Elliott Smith came up and just pushed his guy back about 4 or 5 yards, which gave Holsworth the opportunity to get his wheels a-turning.
Yeah, that's that freshman connection for the Wildcats out there with Butel, 34, Dawkins, and number 48, Elliott Smith. So 1st and 10 for the Cats from the 48. Brings Atkins in motion, but Perkins is checked into the ball game, and he's got another big hole. So it looks like that left side's wide open for the Cats so far.
Yeah, we're controlling their outside tackle over there. We're getting a nice job of sliding to the left a little bit and pinching him down. And Perkins last week, he really impressed me. I mean, you got 210 pounds come crashing down. He does a nice job.
Cats stay tight with their double tight ends. Same play to the left side. Cats have been just running it non-stop, but I think the turf monster got him there, and he tripped up and only gained about 4, which could have been a lot more.
Yeah, that's kind of one you get up and you're kind of squeezing your eyes together and your fists together because you know that you had some big chunks. If he gets another 3 yards and gets on that defensive back's hip, he takes it to the house. That's a tough break.
All right, so the Cats get the 1st down from the 41. Right side this time, and he is upended, but he's going to pick up another 6 on that run. So Perkins now rolling along. Holsworth with the first 2 carries. Perkins with the last 3. Cats are rolling right along now at the 35.
Yeah, and they just chased him out, and they brought Holsworth in.
So two-headed monster for the Cats tonight.
Absolutely. If they want to change a pace, you'll probably see 25 Fleck come into the game.
Right. So Holsworth in the backfield this time. And now they're really stacking the box here, but there's an a counter there. And they actually read it pretty well there. There's number 50 making the stop for the Bears, and that is Darian Stewart, a defensive tackle there. So we'll call it no gain for Cabrick on that counter play.
Heil did a nice job of pushing the defender out. The problem is when the handoff happened, it happened so slow. Heil's taught to hold it 5 seconds. He just didn't have enough time.
So 3rd down, they give it to Holsworth, and he spun a little bit there, but was not able to get much further. The Bears were able to penetrate the backfield there. Number 33, Luke Robard's making a play.
Looks like Holsworth is understanding a little bit, that fumble he had last week on really irritated him a little bit. But, boy, I tell you what, he's clamping down now when he's making contact. It's nice to see.
So it looks like the Wildcats need about a foot on this 4th down. So 4th down and very short here.
They're coming right up the middle. Look at them.
I'm going to try that left side that's been wide open, and there goes Holsworth. He's trying to break to the outside. Not able to get away. Number 21, Ashton Leach, slowed him up, but he was able to rush that football all the way to the 23-yard line.
Well, you could see how everybody was pinching in the middle. They thought that dive coming straight up because it was 4th and short. Once again, we bounce to the outside and go outside tackle where we've been controlling it. Number 50 out there is having a long night so far, and we're only midway through the first quarter.
So the Cats again left side. It's just wide open. I mean, my gosh, keep doing it until they stop us. So right there, Perkins back in the ball game, and he gets a nice run.
Well, right now, Heil is just dominating Stewart. I mean, Stewart comes in at 6'2", 230, but Heil is just handing it to him right now.
So the Wildcat offensive line doing the job. 7 more yards on that run. 3:42 on the clock here. Cats inside the 20 in the red zone.
See if we go there again.
Right side this time, and Perkins is able to get across the 15 to about the 13-yard line. I think it should be enough for a first down if that's where they spot it. So he needed about 3.5, and he's able to get about 4. So 1st and 10 for the Cats.
Although we ran to the other side, the right side, they still ran off that tackle. So the coaches have seen something so far. And let's hope there's no adjustments by Central.
Holsworth this time, left side. He plows his way down to about the 6-yard line. So the Wildcats just pushing the pile there, opening up huge holes for the Wildcat running backs this time. 3 and out on their first drive, but they're moving right along looking to score.
Well, unfortunately for Leach, he comes in at 160 pounds. He took the whole brunt of Holsworth coming through the line on that one.
Do it again, Holsworth looking for the end zone. And he is going to be stopped right at about the 1-yard line. So he's going to have a first goal from there. So a nice pickup of 6.
I think Coach Lewis, if the Bossy game was any indication, when we were having success outside the tackles, being able to pinch them down, 61 times he did this. So there's probably a pretty good chance we'll see a few more of those tonight.
All right, so Perkins is just going to walk right in for that 1-yard run. So the Wildcats just march right down the field with nothing but running plays. Just like last week where they were able to march 78 yards on their first drive against Mater Dei. Perkins capped it off with a 2-yard run. Tonight it's a 1-yard plunge.
Just if I was given an award out on that particular possession, I think Mr. Heil would be handling that. Boy, he really took care of business over there.
All right, so Atkins out there to tee it up for Cabrick. Snap is good. The kick is no good. Missed it badly to the left. So Jasper's not able to convert the PAT, but they drive all the way down 67 yards for the first score. So Jasper 6, Central nothing here on 18 WJTS. So Jasper 6, Central nothing. Jasper marches all the way down, started with the 33-yard line and nothing but running plays to get in the end zone. Cabrick with a nice boot here. And it's going to be fielded right at the 21, or I'm sorry, at the 5-yard line. Number 21 carrying it. He actually slips up there. We'll give Dawkins credit for it, but that was number 21, Ashton Leach, who returns it to the 30. I'm sorry, no, they're going to spot it right at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Bears there.
Well, when he came cruising around the corner and you look up and you see, you know he's a freshman, big old 34 standing there. He had to cut it back. You know, Dawkins was forcing him to the outside. Fortunately for Jasper, he went down very easily.
So the Cats go 14 plays, all rushing plays on that drive. So here comes Central on their second possession. So a pitch out goes to Jackson, and he actually cut it up there. It looked like They could have stopped him right around the line of scrimmage, but he was able to get about 3 yards on that run.
Well, some of that almost Mater Dei ran the same thing going out the outside, and I know that some people disagree with me, but I think Cabrick was getting held every single time they would come out, whether it was a wide receiver screen or whether it was the running back on the sweep. Cabrick did a great job of getting to the outside shoulder and forcing him back up.
Minute 30 on the clock here in the first quarter. Jasper leads 6-0. Bears looking to throw for the first time, and they chuck it out there, but a good job and a good read by the Wildcats as Atkins saw that the whole way and was able to stop it in its tracks, and they're going to lose a few yards.
What a break on the ball by Atkins. That ball was barely on that guy's fingertips before Atkins was dropping him. That was a great read.
So he connected with Diaz, Rogelio Diaz, number 3, 5'8" senior for this Central team. So knock him back about 3 yards. We'll bring up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 9 from the 31-yard line. Fakes there, now he's going to go long. And it just heaves out of bounds there. So, yeah, it just looks like that Boston Steers doing his best there, but he threw pretty well a duck on that throw. So,
well, he was looking up with Wallace coming out. Wallace did a nice job of getting through the line on his stunt. And not only that, Wallace is a big kid, and he also had his arms extended, which means when he did rush it, he had to throw it up in the air, and then you seen the result.
So another 3 and out for the Bears here. We'll give the Wildcats, should be comparable field position from their last start, depending on how this punt turns out. And actually, it's going to even be better field position because he kicks that out of bounds. And I don't know how he's able to see it from there. He came running from the other side, so they're going to spot it right there at the 41-yard line. So I don't understand why a side judge over there coming from the opposite end would run all the way over to the other end and then walk it off. I mean, why wouldn't he see it from the south side?
Haven't you and I had this discussion about trying to put logic into high school football?
Yeah, I know. Sometimes.
Come on now.
All right, so great field position for the Cats.
Off tackle again.
See if they just keep working that left side. Yes, they do, but good penetration this time. So obviously Luke Robards was guessing right and stops Holsworth for a 1-yard gain.
Well, if you've watched game film against Jasper, and you're going to watch to see what teams did against you, like Wrights, what they did to Jasper, and then they're going to see what we did like against Evansville Bossy. They seen that off tackle. Now they're starting to shoot the defensive back. If we pick him up, we're gone.
Right side this time. And so Holsworth was able to shy away from a couple tacklers there and actually was able to gain about 5 on the play. We'll set up a 3rd down from there, but that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. So Jasper marches down on their second drive, 67 yards to put 6 points on the board, and they lead 6-0 here on 18 WJTS. All right, we're going to start the second quarter. The football is going to be resting at the 46-yard line. 3rd down and about 5, a little bit, we'll say 4.5 here. Give it to the right side. There's Holsworth. And he's able to get the necessary yardage. Give him credit for about a 7-yard run there and a 1st down.
Interesting. They shot the outside. I don't know if right there at the end of the first quarter when the Cats went over to talk to Coach Lewis that he said, hey, let's start pinching it in because now they're starting to shoot outside and mix it up during the game to kind of keep them off kilter. But that was a nice job of turning that up inside the middle and getting a good gain.
So it puts the Wildcats in central field position. There's the counter. This time that's trying to see the number. Actually, it's Bear who came in. So Bear's going to lose a yard on that play.
Yeah, Ferguson did a nice job of just doing enough to get into his shoestrings and trip him up. But that was very encouraging when he came around. That he was full speed right there. That's the kind of Bear we need right there. Come through and, well, we were really close that our Bear took care of their Bears.
Well, the main thing is just getting getting Braylon involved in the offense. So actually, I think we might have a clock issue right now. So there we go. We are back up and running. All right, so 2nd down and 11. Right side. And a big time hit there by the Central Bears. Number 50, Darian Stewart, just really knocked him back, and he actually is going to lose a yard on that play. So there was just nowhere to go for Jace Perkins.
You know, when Grant Young stepped out of the game due to injury, I heard people make comments that, you know, we just don't pass the way. Well, we did a little bit more with Butel. But the other thing we're not doing, we're not pitching.
Yeah, we're really not quite running the triple option as much, but the Cats are looking to throw this time, so he's going to heave it out there. And what a catch by Cabrick. Good hook up there. And he's going to get the first down yardage as he's able to get across the 35 to the 34-yard line, so a nice 16-yard hookup.
He used every bit of vertical on that one. I mean, he pulled that thing in with the fingertips. The catch itself reminded me of a couple of the punts that he snagged out of the air that could have been really bad for Jasper earlier in the season.
Yeah. Brought
him down with one hand and got off good punts. But the one thing about Cabrick, he's just an athlete.
Well, his reception there sets up the Wildcats 1st and 10 from the 34. Now they're going to run the option. They pitch it out here, and that's Bear. He's going to turn upfield, get across the 30, makes another move, goes towards the middle of the field, and he's going to go down at about the 22-yard line. So a nice pickup there of 12.
Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Braylon is playing at full speed right now. I was a little concerned last week when I saw him when looked like he was maybe 80, 85%, just didn't have that burst out of his stance, you know, playing injured. But, boy, he sure seems like he's on snuff tonight.
Yeah, it really gives us another offensive weapon needed. So 1st and 10 from the 22. Going to run the option again, pitches out. Turns upfield. Oh, he might take us into the end zone, and he will. 22 yards, so a good job, good read there, and Ross Dawkins does the rest. So the Wildcats, 22 yards on that touchdown run.
I heard some of the Central fans down here kind of gasp when that missed tackle out there. That wasn't a missed tackle. That was a heck of a move by Dawkins to bite him outside and cut hard in. In basketball, you'd hear the term breaking the ankles.
Yeah. All right, so the Wildcats only take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays on that drive. And this time the kick hits the upright. Very low kick there, so the Cats' point after attempts have been not so good so far, but they still have a 12-0 lead with 9:41 to go here in the second quarter here on 18 WJTS. All right, so it's Cabrick out here to kick it off. Big 16-yard reception for him on that drive. 8 plays, 7 rushes, 1 pass play for him to go to 59 yards on that scoring drive. So that's going to be fielded right at about the 14-yard line.
Nowhere to go.
Cats are able to stop it. Able to get across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. So that's all the room that number 21, Ashton Leach, had there. So Jasper will bring their defense back out here. And Central, again, only 19 points have been scored all season in their 5 games. 3 games have been lost with shutouts. And they've been giving up some points, too. Vincennes had 55 against them, 44 for Wrights last week, 35 for Mater Dei in the opener.
So you're saying it's been a long year for the Bears?
Very long. Cats get great penetration there. Good job in getting in the backfield as defensive end Van Slyke, number 9.
You know, you and I have always talked about over the years about how one play can really change things around. Now, even though Jasper's had a couple of possessions where we've moved him down, it seemed like when Cabrick pulled that ball down on his fingertips, you just seen the whole Jasper sideline kind of raise up a little bit.
Yeah. All right, we got some discussion on the sideline over here. You know, Central Bears, Andy Zirkelbach is in his 2nd year Last year went 2-8. His previous head coaching experience was at Princeton for 4 years, from 2006 to 2009. Play clock down to 14 as their quarterback steers, gets that play called, so down to 7 seconds now. Gets it off, looking to pass. They're trying to set up a screen over here. We got penalty flags, I think. Not sure what this might be. I assume a hold because I didn't see any. Oh, now we got another flag thrown over there. So, seeing a lot of laundry on the field. So we'll see how they sort this out.
I hope we don't get into a situation where we did like at Bossy when things were really going bad. I know it's a frustrating year, but saying things to the officials and that you shouldn't, just, you know, play with a little class best you can.
Right.
You know, officials are trying to do their job too.
Just do your job. That's the bottom line, is just take care of business on the field. But they're sorting it out.
Well, the white hat's writing something down on his pad, so there must be an unsportsmanlike coming somewhere.
Right. All right, we'll see what this is. So I think it might be a chop block, or yeah, it looks like a chop block against Central, so that's the first penalty. Personal foul against Central, so both of them go against the Bears. So, you know, and they're actually standing right there at the 20-yard line, so that's going to take them at least half the distance back. But yeah, just kind of the way things are playing out early on in this football game. I'm not going to say how it's going to finish up, but it's just an opportunity when they're actually going to go another half distance there. So that is going to push them all the way back to the 5-yard line. But from Jasper's standpoint, you know, we, like you said, we just can't get caught up in that type of stuff, and just make sure we just play solid football, get out of here with a win, and no injuries and nobody in trouble as well. So,
well, the season's gone tough enough.
Right.
You know, you've got to. There's an old saying out there: control the things you can't control, and so that's what they do. Just keep your temperament.
All right, scoreboard says 2nd and 32. That's what we'll call it. So they try a little sweep, and now we got another penalty flag back here at the 5-yard line. So let's see if that's a hold against Central maybe.
This is very reminiscent of the Bossy game.
Yep. So Bears had a decent run there, but now they're going to push him back even further.
Well, it proves one thing when you're getting this many holdings or chop blocks. These guys are desperate. Jasper's really blowing by them. So,
yeah, Jasper decides to decline that penalty, so give him credit for a 5-yard run. So it will set up 3rd down and 27.
Well, Central's got a lot of speed, Craig. If they get their athlete in open space, if we don't stay disciplined, they could take it to the house.
Well, that's what they tried to do right there. So they get it to Diaz, and he starts to make some moves. He gets all the way across the 25-yard line. They'll stop him at about the 26 or 26-yard line. I think is where they're going to set this. So it's so they're able to make up about 22 yards on the last couple plays here. But we'll still set up a 4th down. They'll be forced to punt.
Well, they got Gabbard coming in, like you said. They're going to punt, but I know that's what football logic tells you. But look at the way seasons went. I mean, we even tried to win the lottery.
All
nice
right,
pressure.
So punt went off the side of his foot, but it gets a little friendly Central bounce. So Jasper will have the football as they're going to actually call it dead. I think it was touched right there at the 46-yard line. So again, great field position for the Cats. They just have to continue to do what they've been doing all night and just keep running that football and keep moving the sticks and get more points on the board.
Game plan is going according to plan. Eat up the clock, put points on the board, let our defense come in there, get a couple of threes and outs, and that's our recipe for success, and that's what they're doing so far.
All right, so the Cats will start from the 46 this time. Last time started from the 41. We're able to take that all the way for a score. First play straight up the middle. So it's Holsworth carrying the football with two hands, I might add.
Oh, it's good to see. I'm sure him and Coach Lewis after that game had a little heart-to-heart. And, you know, Coach Lewis has been around for a while, and you're around for a while for a reason. So sometimes just take the advice and go with it.
All right, so second down and 8. 6:25 on the clock right now.
Nice keep. Ooh.
So Butel is able to rush that football for about another 2-yard gain, so that will set the football right at midfield. Third down and 6.
Well, it's another nice little wrinkle to throw into the offense. You know, it's the first time he's kept the ball going around the outside. So now that it's done, they have to pay attention to 22.
Cats have got to get to the 44-yard line of Central, and good defensive play there by the Bears. Number 33 getting into the backfield and able to stop Holsworth for no gain. So Luke Robards making the play.
Yeah, he shot the gap nicely, but the handoff between Butel and Holsworth was not clean. And when you run a play like that, even if you're a half second off, that could make all the difference in the world.
So nice applause from the Central fans on that defensive stand there by the Bears. So Cats will punt. So game of field position here is able to get it towards the sideline, but it does take a little bit of a bounce, but it's going to be inside the 20. You'll see where they spotted, I think, right there at the 18-yard line. So 3 and out for the Cats on that drive. 12-0 is our score. 5:05 on the clock left here in the first half.
Holsworth does a nice job with his punts of pinning people down. It seems like whenever we're kicking the ball off, their average, you know, they're better than the 30, but the last couple of games, he's pinned them down a couple of times. He's getting a lot better at that.
All right, so the Central Bears basically 3 and out on all 3 of their possessions so far, so looking to do a little bit more on this one, starting from the 18. Give to Jackson straight up. Not much running room as he maybe gains, give him credit for maybe 1 yard.
You know, he runs really hard, and we've seen him. Jasper's done a nice job of stringing him out, but we've seen him go sideline to sideline. He's got a lot of speed. But when you're trying to crash through the middle of our guys and you're coming in at 145, that's going to be really difficult to do.
It's almost like Butel. I mean, we don't even really attempt to run him between the tackles. So second down and 9. Bears looking to throw this time. Cats get the pressure on him, and he's going to go nowhere, so that's going to be a big sack there. See Van Slyke in on the play, but also number 63 getting in on it, and that's Evan Nardoff.
Nice job of flowing to the ball. Van Slyke and Nardoff were both there, and they had another pal coming. I didn't catch his number, but it was a nice job of multiple guys flowing to the ball.
So a loss of 5 on the sack. .341 on the clock. This time they set up Diaz, number 3, in the backfield. He's going to look to throw, and he's trying to set up a screen over here, wide out screen, but the Cats read it quickly, and good job by Peter to jump all over that, so there was just nowhere to go for Ashton Leach, and we actually got an injured player over here on the sideline.
Peter did a nice job of coming up. Now, our defensive backs, they're looking over and seeing their receivers, and they're definitely not seeing the speed that they've seen the last couple of games. So they're crowding up a little bit. once they get a little bit more experience in that, in doing that, whenever they get the better receivers, they'll be able to do it also.
All right, so another 3 and out. So the Wildcat defense doing their job tonight.
Boy, Bear's not deep at all.
I think he really wants to get a return here if he can, but now look at the bounce. Yeah, so they kicked it away from him. He had a chance maybe to go after it, but a Central player was right there, so probably the smart thing to let it roll. But Central's roll will move it all the way to the 37-yard line, so the Wildcats will start from there.
Yeah, the coaches really get nervous whenever that ball bounces up. And, of course, as a player, you want to make a play. But when you look up like Bear did and you see the Central defender sitting right there, we're moving the ball on offense. Just get out of the way and let's go get a few more points the old-fashioned way.
So the Cats 3 and out on their last possession. 2:35 on the clock to start this drive.
It's been a while since we had wideouts.
We do split 2 to our near side, but Cats run it there, and Holsworth's able to gain a little bit there, but Brody Mueller comes up and makes the play.
They do a really nice job of flowing through the backside. That was the only guy between Holsworth and him gobbling up a whole lot of green.
So a 2-yard gain on the play. 2nd down and 8 with 2:08 on the clock here. Jasper with a 12-0 lead. So they put Bear there in motion. Then he went to the opposite side, but Cats run it straight up for about another 4-yard gain there. So 3rd down and 4 with 1:40 on the clock. Jasper kind of taking their time here, so I think they're not, we'll see how aggressive they decide to do here on this 3rd down play.
I'd put it up in the air. I mean, we've controlled both sides of the line of scrimmage. If it's not there, just throw it out, punt it. They're not going to move the ball on us.
All right, so he backs the throw, and he throws it out there, and it looks like it's going to be intercepted. So might as well go for it. I mean, call it a punt.
Absolutely.
So Diaz picks that one off.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's exactly if he had instructions from the sideline, throw it deep. If they intercept it, it's as good as a punt.
Right.
There really not much of a gamble there. It was any gamble that was there was on the upside for Jasper.
Yeah, I think he was looking for Cabrick there, and Cabrick just didn't see the ball coming down. All right, so 1:15. Central has not been able to gain a 1st down yet in this football game. So we'll see how aggressive they decide to go here. Diaz, who picked off the pass, is now in the backfield, but he loses it for about 3 yards as the Wildcats just were all over that one.
We had a couple of guys making contact with him before he even had the ball in his gut. That's some great movement by that defensive line.
So that moves the football back to the 22-yard line. We're inside a minute now. Going under center this time, and they're going to run the football, and Diaz is able to get across the 25 to about the 28-yard line, so he'll pick up a few. Call it 5 yards, and actually Jasper calls the timeout here.
Absolutely brilliant. You never know what can happen. You've seen how close it was that when that ball bounced up, Bear made a good decision to get away from it on that last punt. But if we stop them here, go for it. Even if you touch the ball and they recover, they're not going to have any time on the clock to do anything with it. So you never know.
Yeah, I would say in this situation, again, get a stop here, call another timeout, so that way you can at least get a good rush on the punt and then see what happens on your return there. So 26.9 on the clock here, coming up on the end of the 1st half. So Central's going to have 3rd down and 8 from the 27-yard line. Jasper with a 12-0 lead.
If our defensive backs, whether it be Atkins or whoever, Bear, if we don't do anything silly and take a big chance on trying to go for an interception, we should be able to stop them here and, like you said, get the quick timeout.
Yeah, and he actually sets up about, seems like an extra yard deep on his shotgun. So they're just going to heave it. See what happens. Jasper goes for the interception, and we are lucky there that didn't bounce right to number 12, Ben Hickey. I think in that situation, just knock it down, because what's the interception going to do? The reason why you take that timeout is because you want to potentially block a punt, I would think.
Yeah. It's always fun when we do what we do and we say, oh, this would be a good play for a counter, and then they actually run the counter. It's successful. But, boy, we sure didn't want to be right on that one. We almost were.
Actually got a little light rain falling on the football field right now. It's a good snap. Jasper goes after it, but not there. So this is a great opportunity for Bear if he can get around the 2 Central players, but they were able to meet him right at the 45-yard line. So
they're not stopping the clock.
Yeah, they did not stop the clock. Probably needs to be about another 4 seconds or so on that. But I would say in a situation here, you just take a knee and finish it up.
Absolutely. Especially with the precipitation coming down like you were talking about.
Yeah, they're asking him to put a little bit more time on the clock. I can't. Yeah, he's saying 10 seconds.
I was going to say, when I noticed it, it was about 9.6.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter because I think we're just going to take a knee here anyway.
Well, we got the clock change anyway, but I think the referee done gave up at that point.
All right, so Jasper will just take a knee. They'll run it out, and we will go into the halftime break with a 12-0 lead over the Central Bears. So, well, Bob, I mean, offensively, 2 nice drives, one going 14 plays for 67 yards, and Perkins was able to run that one in for the touchdown. Then the other scoring drive went 8 plays with 1 pass play, 7 runs for 59 yards, and it was capped off with a 22-yard run by the freshman Ross Dawkins. So, but the other drives, 3 and out, and actually 2 plays in an interception on the last drive. So, yeah, just 2 nice drives. But, again, I just think we need to continue to just plow the football.
Yeah, we had talked about the running off tackle, and then when Central starts shooting their linebackers, defensive backs to the outside, we start coming in a little closer to the guards, which, mix them up, guys. Mix them up. Just keep them off kilter a little bit. You have a freshman quarterback. I'll give him an A for effort. But, just that inexperience. We had 4 or 5 plays tonight, 2 of them which were counters to the far side of the field. The handoff was not clean.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a quick hitter. There can be no hesitation at all.
Right.
It's just timing. It's just experience. Butel's going to be an outstanding quarterback.
Sure.
And, unfortunately, because of what's going on with Young is why he's in there. But he's shown some signs of really being a bright spot for Jasper in the future.
All right, well, we'll take a break here. Jasper leads at halftime 12-0 over the Central Bears here on 18 WJTS. We're in halftime here. The Jasper Wildcats against the Central Bears with a 12-0 lead. And we'll take a look at some of the numbers here. Offensively, both teams, Jasper with 143 yards of total offense to only 31 for Central. Central was not able to gain any first down, so the Wildcat defense really doing the job out there. So, again, doing their part. Would like to see the offense be a little bit more efficient. Had 2 really nice drives. They're scoring drives, but overall, rushing the football, 29 carries for 127 yards. And 1 pass completion going to Charlie Cabrick for 16 yards. So Max Butel, 1 of 2 passing. The other pass was intercepted, but we'll kind of write that one off as a punt late in that second half there. So leading rushers for the Wildcats. Holsworth, 15 carries for 63 yards. Perkins had 7 carries for 27. Ross Dawkins with a nice 22-yard run for his touchdown run. And Perkins scored the other score. And Braylon Bear had 3 carries for 12 yards. And, it's just one of those deals where it's like, again, we can just slowly start working him into the offense and see if he can be of some help as we try to, get down to the final stretch of this football season.
Well, you're absolutely right, because it's a good sign the way he's taken off tonight. I mean, he's really showing some decent speed, like he's getting back to 100%. If we can get Young back in, and although Butel is, like I said, give him an A for effort, we're not pitching the ball very often. When Young was in there, we had a lot more pitches. They talk about let's make them one-dimensional by making them just run the ball. Okay, they can't throw the ball. They're one-dimensional. They can only run it. Well, we're really getting one-dimensional because now we're not pitching it. We're just running one run play. We've had success against Central. The other teams so far, excluding Bossy, not so much.
Yeah, the Wildcat defense, though, again, pitching a shutout so far in this first half. We'd like to see that continue on for the night. And just Drew Bradley had a sack on the quarterback. And also Evan Nardoff, he got credit for a sack on that one that I think also included Van Slyke. But, as far as the defensive side, again, they've been trying to throw the football. They're 3 of 5 passing for 18 yards. But, again, it's just the main thing is just get pressure on the quarterback and just don't allow anything to get through that line of scrimmage with the rushing attack.
Defensive line for Jasper is a lot quicker coming off the ball. And they're playing so physical tonight that Central's going to they're sending like maybe a guard and a tackle or guard and a center to get these guys. Our linebackers are stunting. That gives them a free pass right up there. We're making the quarterback throw before he wants to. I think I could see some good things happening in our defensive backfield here in the second half.
All right, so the Cats got it teed up, ready to go here. He gets the whistle, so Cabrick will boot it here, and we're underway for the second half. So little squib kick's going to be fielded at the 15-yard line. So it's able to rush that football to about the 33 is where they will start. So a good return there by number 12, Ben Hickey for the Bears.
I'm going to tip my hat to Mr. Cabrick there. That is the first time all season we've had 3 consecutive kickoffs, and not one of them has gone out of bounds. So he's doing a better job of keeping the ball in there and letting our cover guys come in. We're not giving them the 35. He's doing a much better job. His first 2 were nice, high in the air, letting our guys get down the field. That was a little bit more line drive, but in the center of the field nonetheless.
So, again, the Bears have not been able to gain a single first down in the whole first half. So the Wildcat defense is just really putting in a workmanlike effort. See if we can continue that on. So the first play is going to be stopped for only a gain of about a yard on that play.
Even though we're bringing our linebackers on the stunt, when we break in towards the center and we're sending them out towards the end, we're not doing it like we did some of the earlier games this season, the struggles we had against Harrison, the struggles we had against Wrights. We're actually getting them in there, and once they get to the line, they're breaking down to find the ball, and they're doing an excellent job of it tonight.
Yeah, so the Wildcats held Central to only 18 yards rushing on 9 carries, so just a 2-yard average. Now they're going to try a little play action. Looking downfield, he throws it down, and he's got a man, so he's able to connect. So he kept his eyes open as he scrambled towards the sideline there, but he was able to connect with Thomas Fox. And that's a huge play into the Jasper territory. So for the first down of the football game for the Bears.
Well, Bradley was right in the middle of the C when he was going. He had a nice break. His break was just a half second too slow. He was going to get there, but Jasper's got 5 guys in there. Somebody's got to get the hands on it.
So an 18-yard hookup on the play, but look at this. Bradley all over that one. Nowhere to go for number 3, Diaz. And that'll be a tackle for a loss.
That must make Bradley feel a little bit better because you could see him bounce his head after they completed that pass. He was really upset about it. Well, he took a little frustration out right there.
So it'll be a second down. Moves the football back to the 49-yard line. Bears first possession of the second half. Running an eye backfield now, so good penetration there for the Cats. But Diaz is able to get away, and now he's going to run to the opposite side. And I think he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage as Peter had to bring him down from behind.
Nice pressure on the backside, but the good thing about what Peter did there was he stayed at home. He was disciplined. And when he cut back, you know, he's got good speed. Diaz had no place to go.
So right back at the 49-yard line, 3rd and 11 from there. Jasper 12, Central 0.
Here we come.
Once put a man in motion, now he actually moves, and that's going to be a penalty and pushing him back 5 yards. I think he was supposed to be going in motion. So again, a lot of confusion, I think, just in play calling and play execution for the Bears tonight.
Yeah, Wallace was creeping up on the line. He was coming, and it looked like he was going to bring a whole lot of heat. And the receiver kind of turned over and seen another one starting to come up, and he got a little happy feet there. Big break for Jasper there. Put him 3rd and long.
Puts the football at the 46-yard line. Steers tries to run a pass play out there and just chucks it out of bounds. Good job by Van Slyke to be all over him. Bradley also in on the pursuit.
Yeah, he didn't like it at all. He thought that maybe Van Slyke got him a little bit when he was out of bounds, but Van Slyke was he was under control, and he was coming as fast as he possibly could under control. You can't stop a man like that on a dime.
So the Bears on an 18-yard pass play were able to get 1 first down, but now they will punt. And it's going to be a good opportunity here for Bear to get a return. So he's going to return it from about the 17-yard line, gets across the 25 to about the 26. So Jasper will start their first possession from there. I think they're actually going to put it right on the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Cats there. 12-0, Jasper leads. 2 scoring drives, mostly runs. As Cats have only completed 1 pass all night tonight.
I would have to think off tackle, you know, on the right side, off tackle on the left side.
First play straight up, and actually not much room there for Holsworth. Number 36 making a stop. That's Brody Mueller.
If Central guesses on that outside, off the tackle to the outside every single time, they're going to guess right the majority of the time, because that's really all we're doing with a counter sprinkled in and maybe 1 inside guard. I think we need to mix it up a little bit more.
Second down. Holsworth gets it on the right side, so he's going to gain a little bit more yardage on that run. Gets across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. So that's going to set up a 3rd down and about 2.
Holsworth did a nice job of hitting it, going to the outside tackle, seen the guy slanting in before he crossed the line of scrimmage, playing his foot, bounced it back inside, picked up an extra 6.
This time Perkins is in, but no blocking whatsoever over there, so it's just a pretty well an easy stop for number 36 again. Brody Mueller comes up and makes the stop for an actual loss for the Wildcats, and that's going to set up a 4th down, and the Cats can be forced to punt.
With a 12-0 lead with midway through the third quarter, you would definitely not think Jasper a fake punt right here. But Cabrick's an athlete. If Central does not, if they retreat, he may go.
Could have gone to the left side. There was nobody over there. So fair catch will be caught right at about the 26-yard line. So Jasper 12, Central nothing. Neither team able to do much on their first drive. Central was able to complete a pass for 18 yards. Jasper 3 and out on 3 running plays. So again, you know, you kind of look at it and it's like, you know, Jasper dominated on their 2 scoring drives, but other than that, it's been pretty well 3 and outs, an interception, and just really no offense for the Wildcats in the last 3 possessions.
Well, I understand why Coach Lewis and the coaching staff over there, why they've taken our playbook and ripped out like 80% of the sheets. You got a freshman quarterback back there. He's got to be looking somewhat towards the future, not trying to ruin this young man's confidence.
All right, so Diaz looking for some room up the middle, and Cats make some attempts to try to strip it out of there, but Hunter Eckert way too strong for Diaz, who only weighs 160 pounds compared to Eckert's 6'3" sophomore. So no gain on the play.
We got some young dudes on this team. You know, Kirk Uxell always said when he talks about the good teams, well, you got to have dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Jasper's got some young ones coming up.
Right. So second down. Central looking to roll right again, and we actually got penalty flags flying, and quarterback's just going to run right out of bounds, being forced out there by Atkins. So we'll see what the penalty's all about.
Well, Wallace was number 67, kind of made his numbers not look so uniformed in the back. He had him a handful of jersey.
All right, so another penalty against the Bears. This is going to be a hold. So if they push it back from the 27-yard line, that's going to be a big penalty, and that's just the thing. I mean, the Bears, gosh, at that one time they were facing like a 2nd and 32 in the first half. Now this time it's going to push it all the way back to the 13-yard line. So,
well, that's just the thing. And when you have a deep rollout like that, holding is a spot foul. So if you're 8 yards back, you've really hosed your team.
I know.
I tried to explain to Cheryl the spot foul thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much success.
Second down and 24. You're trying to set up a screen, and yeah, good pressure by the Cats getting after the quarterback over there. And I'm trying to see who that was. I think it was maybe Senninger. I actually checked that. I think it was Elliott Smith making the pressure on the quarterback, so breaking up that play. So good play by the freshman there.
Smith's done some good things. You know, we talk about Butel and the quarterback, and Dawkins looks like a man-child out there, but don't forget about Smith. He's done some good things.
6:19 on the clock here in the third quarter. Try to chuck it out here, and a little too short, and actually didn't see the ball coming was Dylan Mays, number 23, so that ball falls incomplete. So it's going to be another 3 and out for the Bears.
You can give all that credit to that incomplete pass by our shooting linebackers and our defensive line. We have put so much pressure on him. He got back, and it was just like, you know what? I'm tired of running for my life. I'm just getting rid of it.
Right. So the busiest player for the Bears tonight is Lane Gabbard. Punter's out there again. Returnable football, but no, we're going to call a fair catch right there at the 47-yard line. So, again, great field position this time for the Cats. And bottom line is you just got to start moving the football and getting in the end zone.
Yeah, and I'm knocking on wood as I'm saying this, haven't made the big mistake. But, yeah, I'm looking for some consistency right here. And, you know, maybe that's why Coach Lewis is so set on running off tackle until he sees what he wants to see. We're going to continue to do it.
Butel takes his time as he surveys the field there. Man in motion. They're going to run the option, but he keeps it this time, so he turns upfield, and a nice run there for the freshman as he's able to rush that football to the 35-yard line, so a pickup of 12.
Although we're talking just a couple of games, that was the best run I've seen him do. When he planted his foot and went, it was like, I'm going to get what I can get. You know, no dancing around. That was a heck of a run right there.
So a good read there. Actually winds up being an 11-yard pickup, now to the 36-yard line, 1st and 10. This time, left side, Holsworth gets across the 30 to the 29, so stop there by Jace Ashby, number 9.
Recipe for success right there. Just get more than 3 yards, and let's continue to move this clock and move the ball.
7-yard pickup there. So 2nd down and 3. Tell lets it get down to 5 seconds before he snaps the football.
Nice
but they run the option, pitches it out there. And Atkins with a nice run. So Atkins is going to get it all the way down to the 15-yard line.
If we can pin that far defense, whatever side we're running the pitch to, if we can pin those ends down and give Butel a little bit of more confidence where he can get that pitch, that's really going to open things up for this offense. That was a heck of a pitch right there, but it all started with the big guys up front.
All right, so 1st and 10 for the Cats. Looking to put more points on the board as they lead 12-0 from the 15. Left side, Perkins gets all the way to the 10-yard line before he got stopped. So he'll pick up 5.
Well, we got about as close as we did tonight. He was kind of, when he first got that ball, it was rolling around in his arms a little bit. But he was able to bring it down, and number 10 gets to the 10.
So 2nd down and 5 from there. 4:28 on the clock. 3rd quarter action. Jasper up 12-0.
Looks like we got Fleck in the backfield.
So Fleck gets it. Scampers. And he's going to take it the 10 yards necessary for the touchdown. So Fleck showing a little quickness there. And again, just a change of pace because, again, with the lumbering Perkins and, also just more power running, which you get with Holsworth. But, yeah, a nice shifty run there for the 10-yard score.
Well, Central hit. They stunted like they did in the ones that they were successful in stopping us out there. It's that change of pace. By the time they got there, he was already 3 yards past them. That was a heck of a run.
All right, so the Cats are going to continue to work on the kicking game here as Cabrick's out there instead of going for 2. We got to get this kicking game right. And we get one through. So Jasper leads the Central Bears 19-0 with 4:15 to go here in the 3rd quarter here on 18 WJTS. 5 plays, 47 yards. Jasper now leads 19-0 after a 10-yard run there by Fleck.
That was the
first carry of the night tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say that was the first time they experienced him.
So Landon Fleck doing the job. Central will run it out from the 15-yard line. Cats will stop number 12, Ben Hickey, right at about the 27. So Central just 1 first down in the football game so far. That came on their last drive. Checked that. It was their first drive. They had last drive was 3 and out. So their first drive of the second half, they had a $18-yard pass play for that first down, but then they eventually punted. So Cats defense just going to have to continue to do the job. Pressure on the quarterback to get it out to Diaz. He's able to dance around a little bit. I think he's only going to pick up maybe 2 yards on that pass play.
Our defensive backs are not worried at all about Central going deep. They've only tried it once, So the confidence level is way down. We're playing up tight, and essentially we're kind of crowding a little bit. Not as bad as Central, but we're doing nothing but running, so they're crowding. But we're not sending anybody deep. Our guys are playing with good confidence tonight.
So the play actually only goes for a yard, so it's 2nd down and 9. 3:31 on the clock right now. Third quarter, Jasper leads 19-0. Going to give it to Diaz. He tries to sweep to the outside, but the Cats all over it, but he's able to turn up, and he'll pick up about 4 on that play. Drew Bradley in on the stop.
You know, he does a nice job of being what we call a scat back. You know, planting your foot, bouncing from side to side. But, gosh, dogs, you come in at 140 or 155 pounds, and you got the men up front that we've got. We'll just yank you down every time.
So 3rd down and 5. 5 wide receiver split this time. They're going to throw it out here to Diaz, and good job defensively for the Cats to blow that play up. Trying to see who made the play. Actually, that was Atkins, number 11, so he read it the whole way.
Atkins has been on it tonight. That's about the 2nd or 3rd time that he's come up and read that and been making contact with the guy before he can do anything. He's exploding to the ball well.
So the Bears will punt the football again. I'm going to have to go through during our next break and see how many punts they've had tonight.
Hope they got an ice bag over there for his foot. Man, he's put up a bunch. Uh-oh, ball's down.
Cats are all over it. So Jasper is going to have great field position this time on the botch punt attempt there. So Jasper will have the football at the 25-yard line. So I guess we don't credit that as a punt, really.
No, you'd get that as a rushing attempt, I'd guess. You know, Jasper got good pressure on the punt previous. So he was kind of looking up, seeing who was coming. He took his eye off the ball and fell to the turf, and then there was nothing he could do.
All right, so the Cats will have it at the 25-yard line.
Look how close they are.
Yeah, just a bootleg or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we're all in tight.
Well, they're going to pitch out, and it's going to be a fumble. But Jasper's able to get back on top of it. So, man, that was scary there. Ross Dawkins wasn't able to handle the pitch right to him. I think he maybe just took his eye off it or something. But that's going to push the Wildcats all the way back to the 33-yard line. So a loss of 8 on that play.
Deshaun Stewart, the senior, he's going to have some major nightmares. He had it and he was gone. It just, Jasper got lucky.
I think Tony Lewis would have had another nightmare if that would have been the 4th scoop and score potentially there.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's a fumble that Wildcats were able to recover, so 2nd down and 18. Cats looking to throw. He's going to throw it out here in the flat, and a little too tall there for Atkins to handle. And again, the way they're just stacking the box, the way we've been running straight up the middle, I think a bootleg play is going to be wide open.
Boy, you would think. They do have some guys that can cover sideline to sideline in a hurry, but there's not a whole lot of strength that comes with that.
Again, Jasper with great field position from the 25. Now facing a 3rd and 18 from the 33. And I think, was that a false start against Jasper, or was it offsides on defense? Because I saw the defensive player jump. That's what they're going to call. So Jasper gets a break there with 5 yards added. Make it a little bit more manageable. 3rd down and 13. So obviously 4 down territory in this field. So 3rd down and 13 from the 28. Cats run the option. Good move there, but oh man, what a pop. Braylon Bear just really got stuck by number 33, Luke Robards.
But at this point in the game, he held the ball, controlled it, and it looks like we're going to be able to just take this all the way to the end of the quarter. Or real close to, about 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think we'll have to run one more play. There's about a 4-second difference there. So 4th down and 15 from the 30-yard line. Cat's going to throw.
There.
Heaves it out there. He's got a man. That's Wallace. And he's able to connect with his tight end on the little flag pattern. And he's able to haul that in and takes it to about the 2-yard line. So a big-time hook up there.
The best timing I've seen between a Butel and one of his receivers. In the Bossy game, he was 4 or 5, but, you know, they look pretty decent. You know, he rolled out pretty decent. But that one right there was just perfect. Just timing, coming out of the break, the whole works.
So a big conversion for the Wildcat offense on 4th and 15. We'll get 28 yards, and when we come back, it'll be 1st and goal from the 2. Jasper leads it 19-0 here on 18 WJTS. 4th quarter action. 1st and goal for the Cats. Perkins in the backfield. We'll see if he gets the honors.
210 pounds going downhill. It looks like it'd be a good option.
Give it to him, and he gets the 2-yard touchdown run. Uh-oh. Now we got a little bit of a scuffle going down. That was after the touchdown, of course. Oh, now the Central players are starting to shove each other.
Well, I'm sure number 88 Stewart's still upset because he had that scoop and score that he couldn't corral. But, yeah, you know things are going bad when the guys in brown are pushing on each other.
All right, so they're going to huddle up and sort it out again.
Well, unless they do it on the kickoff, this does absolutely nothing to Central.
Yeah, that's what they'll do.
I mean, I guess you could put it on the, you know, split the difference and go the 1.5-yard line, but.
Yeah, I think it's just a case Jasper's going to continue to work on their kicking game here.
Well, yeah, but that was after the score, so it was dead ball. So
right.
You're right. It will be at the kickoff.
One thing is it going to be offsetting penalties if maybe Jasper's also going to be called for it. So the score is good. Personal foul, Jasper. Personal foul, Central. Offsets the penalties, and it's a touchdown. All right. 25-0, Jasper with the lead, and we're going to be set for an extra point here as Cabrick's out there. Nope, Cat's going to go for 2. All right, so Perkins is still out there in the backfield.
Well, goodness gracious, our offensive line moved him back so far on the touchdown. I mean, he was in the end zone before somebody even touched the 0 on his number 10.
Right. So Cats looking to put 2 more points on the board. They give it to Perkins, and he plows easily in for the score. So Jasper 27, Central nothing here on 18 WJTS. So Jace Perkins, credit him for 8 points on that drive with the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Jasper up 27-0. Got a full 4th quarter to go. If Cats get one more score, we would see a running clock. Actually, they need a 2-point conversion on their next touchdown. It's an opening on the outside, and Hickey's able to get it across the 30 to about the 34-yard line, and before Ross Dawkins makes the tackle there. So Central back on their offense.
You know, all in all, as far as kickoffs go, this has got to be one of the best evenings we've had. You know, Cabrick's, you know, kicking everything down the middle. Nothing's going out of bounds, and Only one of them's been kind of a lone line drive, so maybe he's getting that figured out a little bit.
Main thing, he didn't kick anything out of bounds.
Yeah.
5 wide receivers for the Bears. Now they're actually going to try a little trick play, but boy, that got blown up immediately there by Atkins. I think they were trying to set up a backwards pass and then throw downfield because they had 3 wide receivers down the middle of the field, but man, Atkins just blew that up immediately.
You know, they say the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over and expect different results. Atkins has been blowing that up all night long.
Yeah, he's been reading it well. So actually he loses about 9 on the play. So second down and 19, 11:09 on the clock as we continues to run here. Good pressure by the Cats. Like a block in the back there. Now all of a sudden he gets knocked out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. So he picks up 9 on the play. And I think the coaching staff up here in the press box saw something that they didn't like.
Well, we definitely blocked Diaz in the back. There's no question about that. However, what they're not yelling about is right before that went down, Diaz planted Atkins down by blocking him in the back.
Yeah. All right, so that's actually a 10-yard pickup for the quarterback, Boston Steers. So now 3rd and 9.
Boy, we're bringing it. Look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. So jumping all over that for the big sack. And now we got a penalty flag. So again, it's getting a little testy out here. Weinzapp will give him credit for the sack.
I wonder if they're, I know it's in the 4th quarter, but Jasper showed a lot of excitement after that. I wonder if they're going to be thinking the white taunted a little bit. But that was just good play. If you take away that excitement for these youngsters, they didn't do anything. They didn't point at anybody. They, you know, maybe.
Well, the Cats substituted Eckert out of there. So the personal foul is going to go against the Wildcats. So instead of a sack, it's going to be, they don't give you the automatic first down in high school, so that's going to be a 4th down.
I'm kind of wondering, I know it shouldn't be, but if they're calling their unsportsmanlike conducts personal fouls, because I didn't see us do anything that would a late hit or anything like that, but I did see a lot of excitement from the Jasper players.
Well, it must have been somebody mouthed off or something.
Well, that could have been, yeah.
So tax on 15 yards will set up a 4th and 1. Again, I don't understand why that's not a automatic first down, but so they try a quick slant out there, and the Cats get their hands on it. So a good job defensively by the Wildcats. I think that was number 65 getting up there. It's Jake Weinzappel. Got into the face of the quarterback and knocked it away. So Jasper's going to have 1st and 10. Great field position again.
Well, the offensive lineman for Central, it just was kind of pushing at his numbers. They were not making him engage. And when you're a defensive lineman, you're taught if you're not engaged, get your hands up. And, boy, that sure worked out in Jasper's favor that time.
So the Cats will have the football at the Central 42. 1st and 10. 10:38 on the clock, leading 27-0. Flex in the ball game again. So he gets that first carry for about 4. Cats making some substitution. A.J. Holzman now playing quarterback for the Wildcats, the sophomore. So 2nd down and 6. Fleck, good penetration there by the Bears to stop that play. Number 33 making the stop, and that's Luke Robards. So no gain on the play, 3rd and 6.
A movement of the ball when he took it from the center, which kind of threw our timing out. But, you know, just the main thing right now is looking up and understanding that the clock is your friend, and, you know, just no big plays.
So now 3rd down and 6. Give it again. Fleck tries to cut up field. Not much running room there. He'll pick up maybe 2, so it's going to bring up a 4th down. Clock running at 9:04.
Fleck did a nice job of getting to the outside, but they actually brought the defensive back and had him shed off the receiver and come up, so he had to plant his foot. Did a nice job of getting an extra yard, cutting it back up the middle.
Cats just working that clock down. We're down to 7 seconds on the play clock. Fleck gets away from one tackler, and then he is met. So Brody Mueller makes the stop there, and gains maybe 2, but the Cats are going to give it up on downs.
Gosh, dogs, that was really close. Just held him up enough to where another guy could get an arm on him, but with Fleck's stop and start speed, he had possibilities on that one.
All right, so the Central Bears with the football at the 34-yard line.
Well, you know, this defense out there is really wanting to keep this goose egg on the scoreboard for Central.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if we're starting to see some substitutions. I think we've pretty well got our starters still out there. So the Wildcats wanted to preserve that shutout. Now he's going to have to call a timeout because that'd be an illegal substitution. They were short one player, and he just chucked a player out there to be split out. So, all right, let's take a break here. 8:27, Jasper 27, Central 0 here on 18 WJTS. All right, so the Bears had one player short on the field there, so now they get things set up after that timeout. 1st and 10. Trying to run a screen here. Peters all over it, and the ball gets knocked in. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? My only thing is that maybe they're calling a horse collar or something.
Yeah, this is kind of be interesting.
I mean, I thought simultaneously they made contact for that pass there. No. Face mask. Okay, I was going to say something had to happen other than pass interference. So the Cats with a couple penalties here. Personal foul on the last drive, but this time it's a face mask.
You know, one thing I'm seeing from the Jasper defense tonight is them really working together well. Ross Peter was not out here to where he should have been covering the receiver. Corbin Begley looked up and seen it, and he kind of rolled out and took him until Peter got out there, and then he went back into his position. So he did a nice job of at least making sure it was covered until Peter got out there.
Right. All right, so that moves the football to the 46-yard line. So second first down of the night for the Bears comes via penalty. The roll out there and tries to connect with his receiver, number 23, Dylan Mays, and that goes incomplete. So stop the clock at 8:18. So it'll be second down from the 46.
When he rolls out on that bootleg, usually you like to see him roll out and maybe be going maybe half, three-quarter speed. We're getting so much pressure on her. He's on a dead sprint, and it's very difficult to throw that ball on a dead sprint.
So second down and 10. Now they're going to roll to the left side.
It's been their most successful play.
Actually, it's just a run, it looks like. He pretty well made that decision right away. He's able to get right to midfield to the 50-yard line, so I'll pick up a 4.
Well, they haven't had really any huge plays, but their big gainers tonight have been when he's rolled out to the left and to the right.
So that stops the clock at 8:13. 3rd down and 6. Again, for the most part, Wildcats still with a number of their starters out there on the field. And now we got a penalty flag. That's going to be a delay of game. Wow. Man, oh, man.
I almost got to give that to the sideline because they gave him the play awful late. He didn't start running out there till there was, 10 to 11 seconds left on that play clock. You got to get him in there a little bit faster than that.
All right, so that actually pushes it back to the 45. So now 3rd and 11 that Central's facing here. And he's just going to heave it out, and it's going to go out of bounds. So, yeah, just it's kind of sad to see what's going on with Central. I mean, again, for a team that 2 years ago, one of the top programs in the state, I think they're ranked number 1 at the time when they went 12-1, and 2 years later, I mean, it's just a
transfers to kill you.
I
mean, look what transferred. There was some talent there.
Yeah, again, they just I just hate how you can pick apart teams the way they're doing these days. Cats try to get a rush on the punt and actually gets off a really nice punt all the way to the 18, 19-yard line. So a fair catch there by Bear. But, again, hopefully they can get things turned around because, again, yeah, of course, we want to see Jasper win football games, but you want them to be competitive. I mean, I remember 2 years ago, that was that COVID season, we played down here, and, basically we were, I think, the toughest game that Central faced during the regular season, and, basically got stopped inside the 5-yard line on the pretty well last play of the game. But, yeah, just kind of sad to see. All right, so Jasper with the football. The 19-yard line, 1st and 10, 7:58 on the clock. Holzman still at quarterback there for the Cats. And Cats trying to sweep to the outside there, and nothing there for Fleck.
Fleck is usually, more often than not, plant the foot and just giddy up and go. And I think Coach Lewis has got a message out to his skilled players. Take care of that gosh darn ball.
Yeah, just let's get out of here is basically, I think, the message. Holzman keeps it this time. And he's going to rush it to about the 23-yard line, so a pickup of about 4.
Well, nobody even picked up Diaz. He came flying in off the corner and made Holzman kind of hop over, and that's when number 6 was able to put him down. Holzman appears from up here to be bigger than both those guys, but when you're off balance, even the smallest guy can bring you down.
Clock running at 6:46. Third down. Fleck gets it on the left side this time, and he's going to get the first down yardage all the way to the 31-yard line. So a nice 8-yard run there for the junior.
He's just so quick. And, him not – when you have Perkins back there, you've got a, pretty good-sized guy as far as height goes. You bring in Fleck, he's built a little close. It's hard to find him.
Mm-hmm. I don't see why we just don't pitch it out to him on a sweep and see what he can do.
He's got the jets for it. There's no doubt about that.
From the 31-yard line, Fleck gets it. Gets it to the 35, so a pickup of 4. 5:57 on the clock. See if Jasper can get a just nice long sustained drive here to kind of run this clock out. Go home with a road win.
Yeah, pick up a first down here would go a long way into doing just that.
He'd use more of that clock. He actually snapped that at 17 seconds. So Fleck was manhandled that time. Picks up about 3. Yeah, I think the Wildcats have rotated some of the offensive linemen out there, giving some underclassmen the opportunity to play. Third down and 3. This time Holzman keeps it.
That is a
good
great
run.
read. Yeah.
Yes.
Great read. They had 6 guys coming in when Fleck came through that line. Fleck had no shot. What a great read to pull that out and go.
So a 5-yard pickup gives the Wildcats a 1st and 10. Ball sets there at the 43-yard line, 4:38, 4:37. Keep running to that left side over there. So this time Fleck moves the pile. I think he had a little assistance from his offensive lineman there to push him a little bit further. So he's going to get to the 47. Gain of 4.
Yeah, Barney, a catastrophe here. You know, our defense is going to get the shutout. That's an awesome thing for them.
Right side this time, Fleck. Couple moves there, gets him all the way into Central Territory to the 45-yard line. So a nice pickup of 8.
He's got a little bit more strength than you would think he'd have. You know, he had a couple of guys hit him in the thighs pretty hard there, and he was still able to wiggle for another couple.
Right. All right, so the main thing for the Wildcats, keeps the clock moving, keeps possession in their hands. So 3:25 now left to go. Jasper 27, Central 0. Fleck moving it, and he gets across the 40, so a nice another 5 yards there.
Yeah, about the simplest of game plans from this point on.
Move the chains, hang on to the football, finish up this football game. We're inside of 3 now with 2:54. I think we really need to be looking at clock and just trying to run as much off as they can. Fleck on the left side. He's going to gain 4.
Yeah, you're right, Craig. When you mentioned just a few plays ago about how we snapped the ball with 17 seconds, I've been paying attention, and it's all been around 17, 18, 19 seconds.
Oh, no, I think we could probably be about a minute ahead if we would have worked that clock. But, hey, you know, again, JV players, they want an opportunity to play, so let them play.
Absolutely.
So 3rd down and 2. We're the ones that want the game over.
Well, we're old. We don't have that much time left.
Holzman keeps it again. He's going to get the 1st down yardage, so a good job there. Holzman's had some nice reads to convert these 3rd down situations.
Yeah, he had a couple of guys come in, too. He lowered his shoulder and dealt out some punishment on that one.
All right, so trying to keep up with the clock. Place clock down to 25, 1:47 on the game clock.
Yeah, they haven't even sent the play in yet. The coaches are taking control of the time clock right now.
All right, so the Cats break the huddle. 10 seconds to go on the play. So we should be able to run it out here. Fleck, right side. Give him 3.
Yeah, much better job. They snapped the ball and when 2 seconds left on the play clock on that one.
All right, so play clock at 15, 50 seconds on the game. Cats just going to take a knee right here.
Yeah, and depending on
Yeah, they'll be inside the. Yep. So we're 2-1. And actually, I think we called. Did they call the ball game? Okay. So they snapped the ball. I was like, okay. All right, so that will finish that up, and Jasper's going to walk out of here with a 27-0 win over the Central Bears. So Jasper improves to 3-3 on the season. Central's going to drop to 0-5, and it's the 4th shutout of the Bears tonight. So, Bob, what are your thoughts on the football game?
You got to win the games that you're supposed to win, and Jasper was supposed to win coming down here. I know we've had our struggles, but not like the struggles of Central. But we came in, we did what we needed to do. We played with a little bit of enthusiasm. We got the shutout from the defense. They flowed really well. Wallace played really good tonight. I thought Sanier played good. Atkins was just absolutely blowing up that whiteout screen. And on offense, you know, we sputtered on a few possessions, but for the most part, unfortunately, we were really close to saying we didn't put the ball on the turf tonight.
Yeah.
But one did go down, and we were very fortunate to get back on it. So we didn't lose any fumbles tonight. That's a positive. You know, we were able to throw the ball. Kabrick made a hell of a grab out there, and then he hit Wallace going down there towards the flag. So there's a lot of positives looking out here. I do know that's Central, but you got to win this game, you know, because our next 3 games are not going to be easy.
No, not at all. I mean, we continue this road trip. It started tonight here at Central, so Jasper gets the win here. But again, next week at Castle and then at North before we come home and finish the season on October 4th against Vincennes. But, yeah, it's just one of those deals where it's like, you know, we had to just come down here and win this football game, get it over with and all that. But, yeah, the true test is going to be the next 2 weeks. And, you know, one thing just kind of hoping to see is that maybe we can get some guys back in. I mean, Braylon Bear got in, you know, came back last week, got a little more offensive work tonight, but if we can kind of get him working a little bit more, and you know, again, we'll just kind of keep an eye on the Grant Young situation as well, because again, I think really for us to make a run in the tournament is for us to get him back healthy.
Grant Young brings so much to the table. You know, he got a little bit of time as a sophomore, got a lot more last year. The timing he had with his fellow seniors, and you just, it's a beautiful thing to play football with somebody for so long and know what they're going to do before they end up doing it. So Grant Young, when he got knocked out, we had to bring Holsworth in. We took him out of his natural position. It was kind of like a snowball effect. We had to move guys into positions they weren't real comfortable with. It forced Tony Lewis to make some difficult decisions. It is rare, and to be honest with you, I cannot think of a time to where we brought up freshmen to play. Usually when you see stuff like that, it's necessity trying to get bodies on the field. But, you know, he knew he had to get Holsworth back into his natural position, and really the only choice was either Holzman or Butel, and I guess they kind of battled it out, and Coach made his decision.
Right. All right, well, Jasper again pulls it off tonight, evens their record at 3-3, and just looking at the numbers, offensively, the Wildcats with 275 total yards, holding Central to only 44 yards of offense tonight, and pretty well stopped their running game. 17 carries for only 27 yards. The Wildcats 56 carries for 227, and a lot of that just, again, just to kind of keep that drive alive there towards the end. But Carter Holsworth, 18 carries for 78 yards. Landon Fleck actually finished with 13 carries for 52 yards. Jace Perkins with 9 for 32. So, and then also a nice touchdown run by Ross Dawkins, 22-yarder. And Butel finishes 3 of 5 passing for 48 yards and a touchdown. Did he throw a touchdown? I don't think he did. They have it listed down here for touchdown. But.
Was Wallace short?
Yeah, he was short.
Okay.
Yeah, then we ran it in. Okay, maybe that's what it was. Okay, but anyway. All right, but, you know, the bottom line is we get the win tonight, and we'll just move on and see how we do against Castle next week.
We did what we needed to do.
Right. Okay, so for Jeremy Marcos and Bob Welp, my name is Craig Schneider. Jasper wins it 27-0 over the Central Bears here on 18 WJTS. Good night.